Good morning. So this is Brian from Breaking Down Security, and I'm back with part two of kind of a how-to on how to use the program Nmap. We did part one. Well, I did part one last month, and a lot of people liked it. And it was suggested that I do a little bit more to explain, because Nmap is a huge program. And I wanted to make sure that you got a good experience from it and understood that it's not just, that can be summed up in 20 minutes of how to do it. I mean, it is truly a massive program. So we're going to go through some more. I may bounce around a little bit, and some of this may be a repeat from part one. I'm hoping that I will make it educational for you. You might find some more little shortcuts or gotchas that you might find useful or might avoid in the future that I learned myself. So what you got here is on my screen. I've done a little preparation ahead of time. I wanted to find out where the location of the Nmap scripts were so that I could not have to search for them during the video. And on Kali, when I'm running Kali, the latest version, it's in user share scripts, and then that's the directory. Now, when I looked earlier on my Mac OS, which is what you see here running now, it was in opt local share, I believe. And actually, let me see, scroll up, see if I can find it. Oh, that's just a bunch of scans I did earlier that I'll probably refer back to at some point. Anyway, let's just go ahead and get started into this. And if you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, and I'll give those at the end. So the first thing we're going to do is something I actually picked up after I did part one, where you can scan a list of IPs from a text file. And this might come in handy if you're a beginning pen tester or somebody who's engaging a client and they say, we have 150 hosts, but we don't want you to scan all the hosts in this network segment. We need you to scan, X, Y, and Z. So they give you a list of IPs in the proposal, let's say. And you can put these in just a text file, like a regular text file, like cat ip.text, bi ip.text. And then go 10.0.0.0.2, 10.0.0.7, and 10.0, oh good lord, 0.54, kind of. And that way you don't have to run specific scans like 3 times. You can run one scan at one time and just call this -il and then the location of the text file from the command line. So that was one thing I found out that I thought was kind of interesting, and I've actually used that several times in the last month, because I do a lot of scanning at work for various systems on the networks. So one of the other things I learned is instead of having to type nmap -p, I want to scan all the ports, so I need to go 1/65.535, and then 10.0.0.2. You can just get rid of the big number here, or the big number range, and just do a dash, and that tells Nmap to go ahead and scan for all the ports. And that's just regular TCP ports. So I found that one quite interesting, and it saves you a few characters. You can do it the old way or the other way, but if you're in a hurry or you just want to be quick about it, you can just do that. Let me see. So last month I didn't do a lot on host discovery. I kind of explained it, and I gave you some generic things like you can do UDP scans here and send out UDP, but I also found another one called ARP pings, so I guess I can get rid of that because I just looked at my notes. You can do an ARP ping. Now, why would you want to do an ARP ping? Well, servers need to be on the network, and They have to broadcast that they're there so that they receive data while being on the segment. So let's say you scan a box and the regular ping scan shows up as it's not on the network. So you do a scan, and let's say you do a quick scan of 1,000 ports that Nmap doesn't show anything, or they're all closed or something. So you don't really know if there's actually a host on that IP. And this will actually be faster. An ARP scan will basically say, is there somebody here at 10.0.0.3? And if the server is on 10.0.0.3, it kind of has to say, yeah, I'm there. Otherwise, it gets, I would say deregistered from the network, but it would, it has to update routing tables. So there has to be, if there is something there, the routing tables constantly get updated. So you would know if there's actually a host there. And then by knowing that, then you can continue doing your forensics, your network forensics or scanning on that host, which is important. Especially if they're trying really hard to, close off every port or not be able to, dissuade you from finding that server in the first place. So, let's see. Next thing, I guess we're going to go right on into the scripting, and that's a huge thing. Actually, I thought about making it its own little bit, but I don't know. I don't like to stay on one thing forever, so this will probably be a good starting point and finishing point for Nmap, because part of it is you taking information and going, the baby bird leaving the nest, if you will. So there are a number of scripts in Nmap, as you can see. These are just a small sampling of the several hundred that are on the system. And they scan for a number of different things, and that's just the ones that we found in the scan. So the location, of course, users share Nmap scripts on Kali. You have to do, basically I just did a find -name star NSE, because they're all NSE, not Netscape, damn, Nmap scripting engine. That's what NSE. So that's the name of the files. So you go in. Let me do let's do the rsync brute. So we'll go more user share Nmap scripts rsync brute.nse. All right. So each one of these has a specific syntax, specific organization to them. The first thing you start out with is what is required, the dependencies. So it says that you're looking for specific connections to Nmap or other scripts that it's going to call, like short port's another one, standard NSE. It'll also look for rsync to be installed on the box if it isn't already. Another thing that pops up will be the description, which tells you what the script does, which is always important. You go down here. If you try to invoke the script and you get it wrong, one of the things that shows up is it tells you the port number you're looking for and how to actually call the script properly. And in Lua, I spent 3 weeks trying to understand Lua, and I was going to give you guys a Lua primer, but that didn't really work out well for me. Because learning a scripting language is not a 3-week process. It's something you got to do all the time. These are comments in a Lua script, so this would not normally show up in a when the script is running, unless because it just gives you a sample of the output of what you're expecting to see when you run the script if rsync is running on the box. So we've got the next thing you'll have is who wrote it, Patrick Carlson, and the licensing for it being same as Nmap, which you can always go here to find out about the licensing for Nmap. And then the categories, which I'm going to tell you about some of the categories. They break down the categories based upon how they work with the system. They have, in this case, this one is a brute force type thing, script, and this one is very intrusive. So you're going to get a lot of traffic on the system because it's going to be trying constantly to do various things on your system. Some of the other ones are auth, broadcast, discovery, of course. Fuzzer. Fuzzer is one that it tries different inputs to make sure that something works. It might be like a dirbuster type function where it's checking for a number of different directories that would denote, say, a web server or file server or things like that. The other ones, it will also look for malware. I know on one of my scans that I did earlier on my Synology box, funnily enough, it found these ports open, which it found UPnP open, which I know I shouldn't be running. But the next thing it did was it looked for configure, which was a old school malware back in the day that it hopefully has been patched by Synology. But it checked the various ports for configure to find out if if it's vulnerable to configure, and ideally it would tell you if it was, or and this apparently is not. So there are a number of different things you can do with these with the scripts. Let me go back over here. And some of the newer things that they've added in is looking for servers like Quake servers, if you are still playing Quake, or SQL servers. It will query SQL servers, TeamSpeak. So if you're running a TeamSpeak server for your World of Warcraft guild, it will search out those servers. I think Ventrilo was another one on here that you could use if it found Ventrilo, you can have it run a Ventrilo server to detect old versions that may allow you to gain access to somebody's server. So I would suggest, if you are interested in running specific scripts like that, to go in, look at what is available. I mean, you can have these run specifically by, you can have Nmap run all of the, say, safe scripts, or you can have it run all of the intrusive scripts, or you can have it run any of the fuzzer scripts, but just be aware that doing so could cause some problems. There could be version differences that maybe some scripts don't play well with other scripts, and you could have issues with that. Let me see. I'm looking at my other notes. You can run, actually, and we'll also accept booleans like you want it to run all the scripts except the not intrusive ones, or you can say I want it to run the defaults or safe ones. You can actually go down here and set default or safe, or you can say not banner, so it won't look for banner scripts. Let's see what else I got here. Let's see. Scroll back up. See, I guess the only other thing we can talk about at this point that I want to talk about is the output of files. So when you run a scan on a box, you can go to Nmap. .2. So I'm going to scan my Synology box again. These are the different outputs that you can make Nmap put them out in. Greppable, which I had a greppable script here. When you run, well, actually I can just run it real quick here. -O, I'm going to do -A or OA because that just puts it out in all of them except for script kitty. I'm not going to use the script kitty one. And Okay, so I did something wrong there. Let me. There we go. So -A, of course, what you remember from the last video, that -A is in an advanced mode. It does things like probing for versions. It will also do, I believe, OS detection. I could be wrong. I'm hoping it's rather quick. Let's see if I've got some already sitting down here. Yeah, see, I think I already have. Okay, guess I'm going to wait for the scan to complete. So I guess I shouldn't have dead air, just like so one of the things that you find out if you go to Nmap's website is that, okay, so that was a, I know why I screwed up on that one. You have to say, watch, damn it to hell. Okay, so you see what I did there? -VVV. It does not like not having an input file. So that's my bad. You have to put an input file. And that's actually going to be difficult to, remove. You have to call the right removal files -VVV. So there you go. That's why I wasn't getting any output. I actually had this happen earlier on the script, but okay. So you see that runs. I'm going to go ahead and kill this because I wasted enough time. So you see the Synology Nmap. So you run Synology Nmap, and it gives you a list of greppable fields separated by commas. That's good if you're trying to grep for specific things. It shows you all the files, or the ports that it has scanned so far. Let me go back. There's XML file. It'll put it in the XML format so you can make it pretty. It actually comes with a style sheet that you can call, and it says, scan info type, the protocol, the number of services. So it tried to run 1,000 ports, which is the typical. It gives you debugging levels. It breaks everything down by XML tags, which is good if you're trying to organize the data for a report, for instance. Or you can just get the regular Nmap, which it was trying to run the text only report for that. So so that that's it. That's all I've got. I hope it was a good experience for you. And if you have any questions or comments and feedback that is constructive, please feel free to get a hold of us. We're on Twitter. I'm at Brian Brake. Mr. Betcher is at Betcherpwned. That's BOETTCHERPWNED. So he's Betcherpwned. We have a Facebook fan page at facebook.com/breakingdownsecurity. And like I said, if you find value in this, we'd appreciate some feedback and say thank you. If you have any suggestions for other videos you'd like us to do, please let us know on the same outlets. That would be very helpful. Okay, you have a great day, and thanks for watching.